All right. The time is 7:35. Right. It's Thursday, March 28th, and it's 2019. Right. And this is just a continuation because the conversation has gone on too long. And the reason why it's gone too long is because I'm not gonna have time to do this no more. So I'm trying to get as much information out there as possible on all this, because like I said, it has to do with me. It's a situation that this is pretty much the situation that I've been going through, And I'm not mean just like right now. I mean like my entire time that I've been like out there, in life and stuff. Okay, so yeah, that's that's the thing, It's like so yeah, this is a continuation of the conversation that I was saying. The conversation that where I left off in the conversation, I was talking about that racist asshole or dick named Jim that works at True Fresh HVP, right? Okay, he tried to block my game, but I wasn't playing. That's how I'm stating. That's what I'm saying. He tried to block my player game, but I wasn't playing because, like I said, that Cavelli girl, she was a bitch with me, and I wasn't attracted to her in any way. She looked like she might have been an attractive woman, but you had to understand. Like I said, I'm not trying to insult people, so I'm not gonna specify what I mean by that. But she looked like she was an attractive woman, and I don't mean 'cause she was old. But I mean, she looked like within her was an attractive woman. And if anybody understands what I mean, that I'm not trying to be, cruel, then you'll understand what I mean, all right? But I didn't like I wasn't attracted to her and nothing like that. Okay, so in the situation that happened, I walk into the office and I'm about to take off, take off back to my apartment. I'm already in the situation. I'm already living by myself, right? So I would just leave early because I wanted to leave. Well, not early, but on time. I would just leave on time because I just didn't want to be there. Because who wants to be at work? Like seriously, like who wants to be at work? So, so the situation that happened is I go into the receiving office to drop off some paperwork, and I tell them I tell the other supervisor, the other supervisor that used to work that was working there, his name was Nathan, right? Nathan from work, okay? Nathan, one of the team leads from True Fresh HVP. Okay. See, I'm only gonna say this because to identify it, but it doesn't mean anything. Okay, he was a black guy, right? And I used to be cool with him because, like I said, I like everybody, like people, like even though I don't talk to you guys, like I try to be cool with everybody, right? And I don't know, maybe that's why people don't like me, because I try to be cool with everybody, or they think I'm being fake, or I don't know, but I try to be cool with everybody. Like, I'm not in competition with you, so why am I gonna be, I don't know, like, that's the way that I see it, but maybe my thinking is wrong. So yeah, like, I go into the office and I drop off some paperwork and I tell the Nathan supervisor or the team lead, I don't know what he was. But I let him know, because he would complain to me. He would get upset that I would take off. Like, he wouldn't, like, write me up or anything, but he would tell me. Like, he would try to be cool with me, but I know he didn't like me. But he would try to pretend to be cool with me. And he would tell me, like, oh, like, that not to be taken off without letting them know that I'm gone, because so they could put somebody to do whatever I was doing. But that's stupid, because usually when I leave, from my work situation, it's because I completed the task, and it's my time that I could take off. Because after the 8 hours, like I said, after the 8 hours, you don't have to give an explanation to anybody. You fulfill your work. You're a grown adult, even if you're just getting into the market and you're still like in your teens. You're a grown adult. You don't have to give an explanation to anybody. Once, as it is, you shouldn't have to give an explanation to anybody. But once you work your 8 hours and you fulfill your requirements as an employee or as a contractor, I'm gonna change the word. This word has to change. The word employee has to get eliminated. The word employee has to be eliminated from the vocabulary that has to do with work. The word employee has to be substituted with contractor, right? So now that any employee is not an employee no more. You guys are contractors now. Okay? You guys need to learn to run. You guys need to learn to run your life like a contractor, right? Everybody that's working for a company, you guys need to take your role. You guys are not employees. You guys are contractors. Each one of you represent your own company. All right? Every individual represents your own company. If you don't have your own company, it's because they make regulations so that you can't have your own company. All right? So it's not your fault, right? And they know this. Right? So the terminology for employees has to be switched. So you're a contractor now. Any employee that works in a company is a contractor. Have a conversation with the contractor. Anybody that's working, go and have a conversation with the contractor about what I'm talking about. And they're gonna tell you that I'm right. They're gonna tell you that, yeah, you as an employee, you're a contractor because you're providing a service. They're contracting you to provide them a service, and the service is the work. That they wanna try to devalue the concept. That's their mentality. But no matter what, you're a contractor. See, you're a contractor being subcontracted by a company to provide them the work, and you are the company. Your own individual company is you. Whether you make money or not, you're the company. You're your own company. See? So as a contractor, you need to start putting your demands. See, you need to start putting your demands that they have to be able to meet, because companies have to be able to see. Companies, you guys need to start being more flexible. You guys can't expect just the employees to be the flexible ones. It has to be both ways. It's a give and take. Everything in life is a give and take, right? Everything in life is a give and take. You give and you take, and it's supposed to work for you too. You give and you take, they give and they take, and back and forth. Right? So companies need to learn to be flexible. Not everybody's gonna be able to work the schedule that is being given, and companies can work around that. There's no need for them to have every single employee being scheduled at the same time. All right? There's no need for it. There is. Like I said, companies are running the companies. If you guys manage to run a successful company, why is it that you guys haven't been able to figure out how to balance the books on all that? Why is it that you haven't figured out how to balance the books to not have to screw people over, to not have to screw your employees over? That's my question to you, the employers, and to any employee that's listening, for you to think about it. Employee or any contractor, okay? That's the thing, everybody has different needs for the life that they're living. If you have kids, most people take their kids to school. Most people take their kids to school. And if it's like a single mom or a single dad, or whatever, then they're doing it on their own. And if they don't have any family, then they're gonna have to hire somebody. See, and in the process of them hiring somebody, then that job no longer benefits them. See, because if that job can't give them any assistance to not be dicks or assholes for whatever stupid reason, then they're not benefiting that person. And over a certain amount of time, eventually, no matter what, the situation is gonna escalate to where that person's not gonna be able to work anymore because of that. For something so simple that the company should be able to accommodate the employees, they don't. And that's the stuff that I'm saying, that the way that they're making everything with companies, they're making it in a way that it's not, eventually it's gonna cause a backlash on the economy. It's going to, because everybody's doing it. Like, all the companies are doing it now, and eventually all the companies are gonna hit that thing where they're gonna try to be making money off of time, but there is nothing to make money off no more, because the system is not being used the right way. And I know that one of the ultimate things that they do is that when the system crumbles, the only thing that they do is they close the company. That's their fuse. When the system crumbles, so that the upper people, the management or the owners, don't lose. They trigger the fuse, and the fuse is all the employees. They close the company down, they fire everybody, and because they fire everybody, then they would have to give them all benefits. But because the company closed down, all those people get refused their benefits. Even under unemployment, they won't get unemployment. Under unemployment, they have to go apply for another job and work for a certain amount of time just to be able to cash in that benefit. And then after that benefit, it doesn't matter, because once you start working at another company, then the benefit changes because you start working at another company, and that's the catch to all that. And some people don't see that. And all this is what I'm trying to explain. My situation is not like this because this is the one I want to be. My situation is like this because people keep blocking me. People keep trying to block me, and I see it as they're player haters, because if they're confident in themselves, if they're confident in their game, and they're confident in everything, then they wouldn't need to block me. Me being able to do my work and being able to sustain everything that I do should not affect them in any way, because they're confident enough to know that me being successful or me doing my own thing is not gonna have an effect on their life, right? That's what I'm trying to explain in this conversation. That other than that, to me, that's what you're telling me. To me, you're the employer. To all my past employers, are telling me that you fear that you fear, for whatever reasons. I have my reasons. I have my reasons why I know you guys do it. All right. And I talked about it a little bit earlier on, But other than that, you guys are just being dicks and assholes with me because, for whatever reason, I don't know what your reasons are, because I don't know. I'm just saying, So yeah, that's my story. That's part of my story that's part of my work story, That's part of my work story, Other work stories, the other company that I was working, I didn't, the people that were working there are not my type of people. The job was easy. I was getting paid $17. I'm not gonna mention the name because it really doesn't have any, well, at least I don't think it does, but it really doesn't have any, like, that one just kind of like, it was just there, But yeah, that place that I'm talking about right now, I was making $17. I could have worked it by myself. I could have ran that company by myself because the work was too easy. Like, it was too easy, But it involves getting rid of people and all that, and then that starts becoming towards the thing that I'm talking about. So then, like I said, I try not to be like that, that's the way that I am. And no. But yeah, that's part of the reason why. Like that's part of the reason, because the other reason, you guys know the other reason, but at least I'm explaining the other half of that. Why. See, but anybody that's listening to the story, you guys know that I'm right. You guys know that in the story that I'm telling, that I'm fulfilling my requirements in the job. And for whatever reasons that you guys could think of, based on the explanation that I'm giving, and I'm talking, I'm talking the way it is, because, like I said, all the companies have cameras, so any of this information, if people, like I'm talking government or anybody authorized to look into all that, if you guys would verify all that, you guys will see that it's true. You guys will see that all the incidents that I'm telling you about happen, and you guys will be able to catch that and see, okay, this guy's not just making up stuff, he's being for reals, right? So yeah, so finally, the conversation I was saying, I went into the office, and that girl Cavelli, she was there. Like I said, she didn't like me, because she didn't like me, or she was just, she was just a bitch, because I would hear other people complaining about her that she was just a bitch, But I honestly think that they were just putting too much pressure on her, and that's what they do, because she rather me, the nobody employee, resent her than her boss that's providing her with her paycheck. But they're not providing her with free money. They're providing her with money that she earned, because she's working for it. And that's the thing that people need to understand. Companies are not providing you with free money. They're providing you with they're providing you with compensation for your work, right? You work as a contractor. You work, and you're gonna get paid, and that's the way it was supposed to work, right? Anything personal, Jim, if you got nothing going on in your personal life, and you like walking around the warehouse because you feel like you're somebody, and that's the only place where you feel like you're somebody, and that's why you like staying there, and that's your problem, dude. That's your problem. And for the Nathan from work, Nathan from work, Mr. Ted, you too, because that's what I seen from you, right? That you guys' egos need to be fed, and the place that you feed it is at work. Literally and metaphorically, you guys feed it literally, because you guys eat food from the floor. And I don't mean from the actual floor, but I mean the floor being, the stock room, the warehouse. You guys eat product off of that, and you guys were trying, like, I mean, they were trying really bad. They were trying so fucking bad to catch me eating. I just don't understand that. It's like, why do they want to? And I'm saying it like that. I'm saying it to catch me eating, because that's the way it felt. Okay, because it's not like they wanted to. It's not like they. Oh man, I don't know. Like, that's the way I see it, right? But yeah, but in reality, they're the ones that actually eat the food. They're the ones that are over there eating the food, and some of them will eat it in front of my face, like literally. Like, they will go up to me and they will start eating the food, and I would be like, dude, I'm saying it right now, because, like I said, I'm not working there no more. But I don't think it's gonna get you in any trouble. But I'm saying it like, they will go up to me and they will start eating the food in front of me, and I'm like, okay, why? What is it that they're thinking? They're thinking I'm gonna go report them to the manager. That's not my style. I'm not gonna go get you fired for that. Like I said, right now I'm just talking about my story. It's a review about my story, and all these events already passed. It's been, I haven't worked there since January, so all this has been months. At least 2 months. So that's what I'm saying. That was their problem for Jim and Nathan from work, Mr. Ted. I know that's your problem. because you guys would do it to me. You know, you guys enjoy that, and that's why you guys didn't want me to go home, because on top of everything else that I was saying, you know, you guys wanted to be able to feel like you guys could boss me around at work, and once I left, I took that with me, and you guys hated that because the Mr. Ted, you know, the supervisor, Mr. Ted, you know, I was on my lunch break. Even though I don't eat, you know. It's a lunch break. It's a break no matter what. It's supposed to be a break, you know. Whether you eat or not has nothing to do with whether you get the break or not. Okay? That's not the way it works. Okay? Because I was taking my lunch break, and I take my lunch break outside because, like I said, I don't want to be there watching people eat, and I'm not gonna eat, so it's just gonna feel weird, and you know, like I don't mean literally feel weird, but it's just gonna be an awkward situation, you know, and so yeah, you know. So okay, I'm taking my break, my lunch. Like I said, these are all true stories. Anybody that looks into it, you know, if it gets government attention and you guys look into it, then you guys will see that it's true stories because there's cameras, and all the situations happen when there's cameras around, right? So I'm outside, you know, I'm outside between dock 3 and 2, right? Between dock 3 and 2. Between dock 3 and 2 is really close to the entrance to the facility, and across I'm gonna say across the street, but it's not a street, you know, across the parking lot there's another warehouse, and facing that company, facing True Fresh HPP, there's parking, you know, against that wall. And I was standing there by a tree because I was getting the shade. And I was just kicking back, you know, drinking a soda, you know, because like I said, that's the only thing that I was drinking, because you know, they don't carry that, so they can't say that I got it off of the floor or anything like that. And like I said, by the floor I mean the stock room or the warehouse. Okay, so I'm taking my break. Then Mr. Ted, he shows up to work, you know, he's barely showing up to his shift, and he comes up to me and he tells me, Michael, you know, to go offload, you know, some like a truck, you know. And I told him, yeah, you know, I'll go right now. I'm on my lunch, you know, as soon as I'm done taking my lunch, you know, I'll go do that right now, you know. And like, I know how he is, because I talked to him. You know, I seen how he was, like I seen how he is, the person. And right away he got upset, you know, he got bothered because I told him no. I didn't tell him no, but I told him as soon as I was done with my lunch break, I will go. Okay, so that happened. So then this is like 1 or 2 days before the incident that ended in me not working there happened. Okay, so this is how I'm telling you, it's not a coincidence, all right? So then that happens, all right? And you know, it's like whatever, because you know, the guy knows that he shouldn't have done that. The guy knows that he shouldn't have gone up to me and asked me to do certain work when I'm on my lunch break, because companies tend to do that. So that's why like, that's why I don't kick it in the lunchroom. See, if anybody that has worked a job, that's been in a situation like me, if you stay in the lunchroom when you're taking your break, it's like chances are they're gonna bother you. They're gonna tell you, oh, you know, so and so happened, and we need you to go and do this. And sometimes it's not gonna be because they actually need the work, you know. Sometimes it's just because, like, if you're a male, sometimes it's because you're eating at the time that another female is eating, and it bothers them for whatever reasons, whether they have stuff going on, or just in their mind, they want stuff to go on. So it bothers them. And what they do is some of you guys are gonna start seeing this. So what they do is to kind of like to show the female that you have no authority, in a way to kind of like de-rank you. That's the way they take it. They show the female that they're gonna boss you around. See, but you're at work. That's the thing. There's a difference. You're at work. They're not bossing you around. They're paying you around. Paying you, P-A-Y, paying you around. That's the difference. And see, but during your lunch break, they're not paying you. All right, during the lunch break, you're off the clock. So that's the thing that I'm trying to say. Once you're on your lunch break, if they can't respect the code, then technically you have the right to be rude to them because you're off the clock, and you're not working. All right, so that's the thing that happens, So if you're a male and you've ever been in a situation like this, I'm explaining to you why, so you understand what is it that's going on. And if you're a female, then you understand too. You'll understand. You start seeing it. You start to recognize it when another employee, whether it's male or female. But like I said, I've only seen it from the male side because, like I said, that's the side that I participate the most. Because other than that, I'm not looking to procreate. So, any females, and males that are unaware of this concept, you guys are gonna start to see it. Okay, so if you're taking your lunch break and you're a male, and for some reason, pay attention. If you're taking your lunch break and there's females there that are attractive, and for some reason, one of the guys, whether it's a good-looking guy or an ugly guy, but he's management, comes up to you and says like, "Oh, I need you to go do this, like quick, now." That's their slick way of trying to say, "Oh, come on, go and do this now." And they're hiding it through the work environment, and that's what they do. Companies do that, like the individual management, based on their mentality. That's the kind of stuff that they do. And sometimes you don't catch it, or sometimes sometimes people respond to it because they know that it's going to cause issues for them. See, I know it's going to cause issues for me too. See, but it shouldn't. That's the thing that I'm trying to say. I know it's going to cause issues to me, but if it causes issues to me, it's because they took it personal, and they're playing. If they take it personal, it's because they're player hating. All right. So that's the thing, Like I said, I don't block people. But they block me. See, they all block me. Every single person that can tries to block me, and that's the difference, They block me in the work environment, they block me in my personal life, and they try to block me in other stuff that I do. And that's the thing that I'm trying to say, that's player hater, that's player hater mentality, people that are doing that to me. And I don't know if anybody understands the concept that I'm explaining to you, but for the females too, for the females, that happens to them too, Sometimes, the management, they'll try to talk to you inappropriate, and that's the thing that you don't understand. If you're a female and you're working, and your manager is screaming at you, it's because he's trying to trigger an emotion in you. And I had talked about this earlier in the content that I was talking about, the revenge fuck and hate fuck. And that's the concept. They're trying to trigger emotion. Emotion is emotion, right? It doesn't matter what it is. If a person tries to trigger an emotion, no matter what, you're feeling an emotion for that person. And that's the thing that I'm trying to point out here. Even if that emotion at that moment is hatred, everybody understands the concept of love or chemistry or whatever. They understand the concept of emulating that I talked about it earlier. Emulating or simulation theory, which is pretty much what happens when people eat. And that one is eye candy. They call it eye candy, right? A more clean version of it is they call it eye candy, right? But no matter what, that's it. It's a trigger system that triggers emotions in the body for people, and people that don't know this, a lot of you get played by this, and some of you know it, and you guys allow it to get played because you guys like it, and that's okay, you know. But this conversation is for the people that don't know about this, because some people in their personal lives, you know, some people in their personal life might be going through situations like me, and some people might not understand that it's not completely their fault, because, you know, not everybody's in control of their life because they don't allow you. It's not because you don't want to. It's just because they don't allow you. See, they don't allow you. They don't allow you for something so simple as, you know, since you're a kid and your parents and all that and everything, they don't allow you to be a certain way. And, you know, that's the thing that I'm trying to talk about. You know, and no matter what, it's player hating. You know, it's player hating, and it could be considered other stuff, but that's the one that I'm using right now as an example. So yeah, you know, that guy, you know, that I don't know if he's a team leader or warehouse lead, whatever he is. But like I said, the bottom line, that he's a dick or an asshole. Like I said, I don't know which one you prefer, Jim. I don't know which one you prefer to be. I don't know if you prefer to be a dick or an asshole. But whichever one, you're one of those. And for that, Mr. Ted, too, I don't know which one you prefer to be, a dick or an asshole, but you're one of those too, because you gave me a hard time too. Just because you wanted to boss me around for no reason. That's it. That's true, you know. So yeah, you know, after that incident happened with that guy, with Mr. Ted, you know, like 2 days later, you know, 2 days later, you know, they said that there was mandatory weekend work. So I had to show up, you know. I had to show up, you know. I had to show up because, you know, they made it mandatory. So then that's already, you know, that's already the catch, that if I take it like that, then I'm gonna, you know, you guys know what I mean, right? So they made mandatory weekend work for inventory, you know. And at this time I'm working night shift, right? I'm working night shift, and like I already explained earlier, you know, I'm getting to my place till like 10, right? I'm getting to my place like at 10 or 11, depending on you know, the way that I got home, or to my place. I'm gonna say to my place because I don't consider anywhere home. And well, the earth, but you know, that's different, you know. But yeah, so you know, so after that happened, you know, so in like 2 or 3 days passed, you know, and it was a weekend, and that's when I say that it was mandatory weekend work for inventory. So then I had to go, you know, I go and I work on Saturday, and you know, and I get Sunday, you know, I get Sunday off, and then I go in on Monday, you know, and on Monday they, you know, on Monday they tell me that they're gonna put me back in the morning shift again, and you know, the dates might not be too accurate, so don't rely on the information on the accuracy of the dates, but the time of all this, like I said, the time is like the time before all this happened between January 1st and January 17th, right? Because that's the last day that I was working there, you know. That's the last day that I worked there, but the last day that I was there, it was on the 18th, because I showed up to work, you know. They put it that I didn't show up to work, but I did show up to work, right? So no matter what, they're lying. And if any of the cameras, if they check the cameras, they'll show okay, I showed up to work, and I could prove it that I showed up to work, because I knew they were gonna do that. So I took pictures. I took pictures that I was there. You know, I took pictures of the clock, the punching clock. You know, I took pictures. I already knew that this is what they were gonna do, right? Because like I said, it was not the first time that I've been through situations like this. See? So yeah, you know. So then I go in, you know. Then I go into work, and then they tell me, you know, that I'm gonna get moved back to the morning shift, because they're trying to reshuffle, you know, everybody for, you know, for whatever reasons. So yeah, okay, so the time of this, that happened, it was like Monday the 14th, right? That's the Monday that I tell you that, I go into work and they tell me, all right, they tell me, oh, you're gonna go back to the morning shift, and I'm like, all right, and then I'm like, when? And he's like, oh, tomorrow. And I'm like, all right, and the very next day, coming off a late shift, not getting time to sleep, because that's the game that they play. They try to tire you out so that you can't show up to work, or that if you show up to work, then you create a mistake or whatever, and that's dangerous. That's the thing I'm trying to point out. That's dangerous. See, that's dangerous because even truckers have regulations for how many hours they can be driving, and forklift drivers should have certain applications, because no matter what you're driving a vehicle, you're driving a vehicle that's heavy. You're driving a heavy vehicle, and you cannot have forklift drivers that are drowsy or sleepy driving around on the forklifts. And that's the thing that I'm trying to point out, that they need to update that regulation. If it's not updated, they need to go over that again, okay? Because that's not right. Any forklift driver that works in more than 8 hours should not be able to work that much time, right? At least not every day, right? All right, so I'm pretty sure the dates are accurate, but since I don't want to be, saying that I was right and it's not, I'm gonna tell you that it's like a kind of like an estimate. For sure, the last day that I worked there, it's guaranteed. It was on the 17th. That actually did work, right? Like I said, on the 18th, I showed up, I punched in, and I took off. I left because I already know the outcome of me staying there that day, right? And I'll talk about it more in a little bit. Right, so on Monday the 14th, the Mr. Tech, he tells me that I'm gonna go back to that I'm gonna go back to the morning shift, because they fired some guy, because they had to let him go. And right away I took it as, oh, okay, I know what you're doing. You're trying to scare me with those tactics, because the person that they fired was supposedly they fired was an agency guy, and his name was Armando. And I'm only mentioning this for research purposes. His name was Armando, and so yeah, the guy, they tell me that because they're gonna fire him, that I need to be there on that day. So I'm like, all right, and they tell me, oh, but you need to be here like at 5, so I gotta go in there earlier, because they know I don't have a car, so they think they're gonna make it complicated for me, and that's what they're counting. They're counting on that, and it's okay. So then Tuesday shows up, and I get to work. I make it to work. And the other manager, Jose, the guy that's saying that he's also a dick or an asshole, I don't know which one he prefers to be, but that's what he is. Right away he looks at me like, oh, like kind of like tripped out, like, oh, like you actually made it to work. You actually came here thinking that I wasn't. So then I go in to start my shift, and I see that the other guy's still working there. The Armando guy, he's still there. So I'm like, okay, I already see what they're doing. So I go. I go and I talk to the Armando guy. I go and I tell him, hey, what's up, dude? Like, because I kind of talked to him, but like I said, I got the hint that he didn't like me, and based on the way that they talked to me, so I start talking to him, because I kind of talked to him and I tell him, like, hey, what happened? Why are they bringing us both at the same time? And he tells me that he doesn't know, and I don't know. So I'm like, okay, I already know what they're doing. They're trying to make the situation overlap. All right, they're trying to make the situation overlap, and they were trying to cause an issue there. Okay, I'm gonna tell you straight out, because the guy told me some stuff after, and I'll get to it right now. Okay, so they're trying to cause the issue that I tell you that people cause when they lie. Because of the lies, they cause issues. And that's what they were counting on. They were counting that pretty much that I was going to hit up that guy, and that he was going to hit me up too, and that pretty much the issue was going to solve itself, because anybody that works a job knows that any kind of conflict that involves physical physical contact with another employee is automatic termination. Anybody knows that. See? Or everybody, if you don't know it, that's it. Anybody, right? Doesn't matter if it's management or anything. Anybody that works in anywhere. You get into an argument that leads to physical contact, it's automatic termination for the both people involved. Right? That's the law. That's the way that they make it. That's the way that it's supposed to be. Anywhere where that doesn't happen, it's because they're playing an unfair game. But that's the way it's supposed to be. Right? And I'm just saying that for all the people that want to pretend to be hardcore at work, because they do that. People, like I say, people try to do that to me all the time. People try to do that to me all the time. I don't know if everybody goes through that, and if it does, then it's just sad that it has to be like that people make it like that. Okay. So yeah, that's the situation that happened there. They were trying to provoke me and that guy to pretty much eliminate each other, so that we caused, like I said, they didn't have the work. The work wasn't there. And to be honest with you, they were trying to get rid of me because I was making more. The agency guy was making like a little bit less than me. I'm gonna say a little bit less, but it's a little bit. It was a little bit more than a little bit. All right. He was making a little bit less than me, so in a situation like that, even though I have a resume, it benefits them to back up the agency people because they're gonna pay them less, and anytime they don't need them, they don't need to give them an excuse. All they do is tell the agency not to call them in, and that's the situation, right? So then that happens, and then right away, I went to the office because certain situations, at work, like I said, certain situations you're the employee, certain situations, I don't want to speak too much about it, but anybody that understands what I'm hinting at, then, all right. So I go in and I talk to the manager, the manager Jose, the guy that I know he can't stand me because he made it obvious to me. He made it clear to me that he didn't like me. Okay. So then he tells me that it's like, oh, is that guy still there? But I could tell that he's just bullshitting because, like I said, I figured him out right away. And he's over there trying to tell me his fake story that he doesn't understand why he's still there. And he pretends, he calls the gym guy, and they have a fake conversation. Like they had an actual conversation, but I mean it's a fake. It's a staged conversation, all right? So they have a staged conversation, and he's over there making it seem like he's talking about the other guy, right? He's making it seem like he's talking about the Armando person, but he's over there telling him that I actually showed up, that I actually made it to work on time, Okay, so then this is Monday, right? So then Monday, everything gets reshuffled. They start moving me around because that's what they did, because they wanted me to get me frustrated. So they start moving me to this spot and then to this, and by spot I just mean like what I was doing that day, right? So then they started assigning me to like certain, like, pretty much, I'm gonna say fake jobs because there's not really any need for it, and they started giving me these fake tasks to eliminate me from producing work that day, so that there would be overtime, right? Because they knew that the overtime was going to be the other opportunity that they wanted for them to start an issue with me, all right? So the day's ending, all right? The day's ending. It's Monday. It's already the time, and that guy Armando, I'm doing work on the docks. The docks are by the entrance, and the guy Armando, he comes up to me, and like I said, he wasn't cool with me like that. Like he wasn't cool with me like to say, oh, he was a friend, because I got right away. He made it clear that he didn't like me, right? And I don't mean like me, like you gotta like me like sexually. I mean like he just didn't like me, like he couldn't stand me or whatever you guys take it as, right? So right away, like I said, he didn't like me or anything, but I was socialized with him, and he would talk back to me, like we would talk here and there, but I'm not gonna say like anything, like it was anything like anything. But so it's already like 2, because that's the end of the time that the shift ended. So it's 2, and he's walking out, and he tells me, he comes up to me and he tells me, he's like, oh, he tells me that he got fired, that he got let go. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. Because, you know, what do you say to that? Like, I really didn't know the guy, you know. I'm like, oh, that does suck though, but it does suck, you know. And I told him that. And then he tries trying to tell me that, he tells me that he already got like whatever, you know, like whatever, I don't know. That part doesn't matter, but he had told me that he already started working somewhere else or whatever. I don't know if it's to save face or whatever, you know. But that's not the point of it, okay? So then that happens, okay? So then that day ends, you know. I go home, and they tell me that for that week that I need to keep coming in at the same time, because since I already let that guy go, that I need to fill in the spot, all right? So then Tuesday shows up, right? Tuesday. You know, so now it's Tuesday, and I get to work, and there's this other guy there working. The other guy that I said, his name's Richie, right? And you know, he wasn't supposed to be working that schedule. So what they're doing is that they're thinking that I'm not gonna show up. So they keep putting somebody to work that same schedule just in case I don't show up. So you know, they don't want to screw themselves over either. You know, if I don't show up and they don't have no one to work there, then that guy Jose, the manager, you know, the guy that has nothing to do because he's filling up that spot where there's nothing to do, he doesn't want to step up. So he doesn't want to do the work. If the situation will lead that I don't show up and there's nobody there to do the work, he doesn't want to do the work, all right? And that's the thing. So they have somebody there extra. So, and, you know, they had that guy Richie, you know, the guy that I tell you, he didn't like me either. Like, I don't know if it's personal or just by my looks or whatever. And so yeah, you know, he's there too. You know, that person will just try like literally like to block. You know, like literally he was just there to block. You know, like let's say if I have my to block for the company or whatever the purpose, doesn't matter. If you let a company make you into an asshole or a dick, you know, you're letting the company make you like that. And that's what a lot of people do. You know, a lot of people don't realize that because of your work, they try to change you, they try to change who you are, and that's not right, because you're just going to work just to earn money. You know, you're just going to work to earn money and to be, you know, to be productive to society. And there's no need for all that, you know, fake drama shit to be happening in the work environment. All right. So then that's what happened. So then, so Tuesday shows up, you know, I'm there doing the work, and like I said, that Richie guy, he was only being there because since he didn't mind kicking back, and just socializing. Then they try to use him. They try to use him as a trigger to, like, I guess, to frustrate me or annoy me that he wasn't doing anything. But like I said, you know, I knew that guy didn't like me, so whatever to him. And if I don't have to deal with him and see him, I'd rather just do the work by myself. And that's what I did. That's what I'm saying. You know, this is already leading up to the day that I stopped working there, right? So this is Tuesday, all right. So I'm over there doing the work, and you know, it was a slow week. So this is the thing that happens, you know, because the times that it's slow, you know, it's really hard for them to try like. It's really hard for them to try like, you know, put work pressure. I mean work pressure like workload. It's really hard for them to put work pressure on me, because what happens is that I give the output, you know, I give the output so high that it doesn't benefit them, and that's how they realize that that's not gonna work on me. That way of them doing that doesn't work on that because of what I just said, right? And so yeah, you know, it's a slow day, you know, Tuesday, you know, whatever, you know, Tuesday passes, so then, you know, yeah, so Tuesday Then Tuesday, that's on Tuesday. So then so then yeah, so it's Tuesday, and right away they told me there was gonna be overtime, even though there was no overtime, because based on the workload, there was not overtime. The only way that there was overtime is based on the content that I talk about, the third party content, that they're making money off of time, not off of work. So even though there's no actual work visually to do, because they have work logged in, they have work hours accumulated they need to extract. They need people there because the cameras need to record people doing something for the liability to take effect. Because if a day goes on then nobody was doing nothing and liability gets cashed in on that day, and for some reason it gets investigated, then they're gonna be able to see that they're ripping off that company. The company is gonna be able to see. The company that they're ripping off is called Nature. The company that they're ripping off is called Once Upon a Farm. Once Upon a Farm works with them, but I think they own them. But they do that third party. They do that third party within the third party within the third party, and man, this is I'm being for real. That concept is like, gee, I'm bringing it up. It's a conversation that Bertha knows. Bertha is a conversation that I prepped her on this. I prepped her on all this. Right, so it's Tuesday, and the timing is going to be overtime, even though visually there's no overtime. And when there's no overtime visually, that means that there's no overtime physically, because other than that, there is no actual work to pull out. So the only thing they do is that they just have pretty much people are just wandering around looking for stuff to do, to look busy, and that's what happened. So then that guy Jose, he didn't like me because since I would try to be cool with everybody, the way that I took it is that he felt like he was losing the authority there with the people, because like I said, he's a dick and an asshole. Then no matter what, like I don't want to be specific to the content, but I talk about an earlier recording of what happens in situations. So I'm not gonna piece it up for you. If you're interested in the topic that I'm talking about, that then you'll do the research and you'll figure it out. Okay, so yeah, that happens, and Tuesday shows up, and they start creating this fake drama that that's supposed to be that I'm leaving a mess before I leave. So because I'm leaving a mess before I leave, that before I leave I need to report with them, so they could go check that I left everything like organized. See, and this is bullshit, because I wasn't doing that. They were just they knew that I was just trying to be cool, keep it cool, and they were trying to provoke a reason for me not to be there, and so that's what they did. And I told them straight out, you must be tripping, or you must be seeing different than what is actually there, because when I take off, I leave everything clean. And he started to argue with me, to disagree with me, and I try to be peaceful, and I try to be calm with people, but he started being rude with me. So then I started, I'm being serious. Like, I'm not gonna be specific to the situation, but he started like taking it to something else. So then, the situation started escalating. So that's what happened. So finally, I told him, that whatever. So this is the next part is the funny part, because this is this is what led to me not working there. All right. So he tells me not to take off that day without letting them know, because they need to verify that I completed my work. And so I'm like, all right, I go and I tell them, because whatever, when they're being stupid with me, I like playing around with them. Right? So he tells me, I tell him, all right, hey, go check my work, go check it, kind of like I'm bossing him around, because he doesn't like it. He doesn't like to be bossed around, and I know that. I see that he doesn't like being bossed around. So I tell him, hey, go check my work, come on, because I gotta go. And so he goes. So in the process of him doing that, I walked out, because I had already done my 8 hours, So pretty much, I sent him to the back to go check. I sent him to the back to go check nothing, because there's nothing to check, because he fell for his own game. So then he felt stupid. He felt stupid when he came back, and I wasn't there. I wasn't there no more. I took off to my I took off to my place, because like I said, I'm only there because people had to be at work. So I took off, and he got really upset because of that. And they tried calling me back. They tried calling me. But I have my voice message for my phone is, I don't know if they still use it, right? So if anybody knows that they still use it, then you know that doesn't apply. That doesn't apply in cell phones, all right? So because the phone company that I was working for, well, not working for but using, is Metro PCS. And what they do is they recycle phone numbers. Some people know this, some people don't know this, but they recycle phone numbers. And the thing that happens about that, why they shouldn't do that no more, and why I'm putting this out, is that the process of recycling phone numbers, there's people that keep that number, So then what happens is that, you're going to be getting random calls from people you don't know. And what might happen sometimes is that you might get a random call from somebody that's looking for somebody for whatever reason. And they're not going to believe you. They're not going to believe you that that's not the number, because they're going to think that, you have somebody lying for them. And, all that causes issues, all right? So what I did, because, like I said, whenever there's an issue like that and there's a solution by the same company, then it's a scam and you're being scammed, they're ripping you off. As stupid as something so simple as $1, they're ripping you off, because then after a while from that happening, what I did, because I was getting random phone calls from people that I didn't know, telling me that, that this and that. And I'll be like, okay, you got the wrong number, man, because that's not the person that you're looking for. And so then whatever, so then that gets annoying. So what I did is I recorded, as my voice message, I put the dial tone. Have anybody knows what I'm talking about? The dial tone is when you call a number is no longer connected, and you get that buzzer, that dee, and it tells you that they're sorry, but the number that you reached is no longer in service. Please try your call and try again. I don't know if anybody knows that. That's what I have. That recording is what I had on my voice message, right? Because that makes it really hard. That makes it really hard for anybody that you don't want to be contacting you. See? Like I said, I'm giving this information out because, like I said, I don't have my phone number no more. I don't have my phone number. I don't have the phone. And so yeah. So they tried calling me. See, and that's the thing, That's it. And not everybody there knew about that. Only the people in management that had tried calling me knew about this, because I would let them know. I would let them know, hey, I'm telling you this because I'm giving you the number because you might call me and I might come to work because I was interested. And I would let them know, hey, I'm giving you my number, but if you call me and I don't answer, leave a message, because the recording is just a recording. So they knew that that was just my voice message. But anybody that see, so this is a situation. I'm gonna explain to you so you understand. If you know this and you're trying to contact me and you think that I'm just not answering because I see your number, you know, what they did is that they had somebody else call me from a random number, you know. And when those people hear the message, they're not aware of it, you know. They're not aware of that message. It's just a recording because, you know, that's what I did. So then isn't that make it hard for them, for the management? Isn't that make it hard for them? Isn't that piss them off? Because, you know, isn't that make them feel like they don't know what they're talking about? And that's what happens. So because of that, you know, because of that asshole or Dick Jose and the asshole or Dick Jim, I don't know which ones they prefer to be. Maybe they prefer to be opposite so they could, you know, be assholes and dicks together. I don't know which one it is, but so yeah, so they got really upset for that. They got really bothered because of that. So yeah, I didn't answer my phone because, like I said, they're not paying me to answer my phone. And then once I'm off the clock, I'm not gonna answer your call. I don't care. I don't care. They tried using this on me before. That they tried having a like a cool female call me, thinking that, you know, that I'm gonna respond, and it's like I said, females like I'm sorry, you know, some of you are really, you know, pretty looking and, you know, and everything, but that's not gonna happen like that. And that's the thing that they have. That's the thing that they have a hard time understanding. And so yeah, you know, they got really upset. You know, Jim, he got really upset because, you know, he's like the warehouse lead, you know, and I made him look whack, right? And the other guy got upset too because I made him look whack too, you know. So then, you know, Wednesday comes up, and, you know, I'm going in there at 5 a.m. See, and this is what I'm telling you. That this is the reason why I'm telling you. See, at 5 a.m, there's nobody there. You know, at 5 a.m, it's just me. At 5 a.m, it's just me. It was just me, Jose, and Richie. At 5 a.m, those are the main people that are there at that time. Well, at least at that time. Not no more because I'm not there no more. Okay, but on those days, that was it. And one or two from the maintenance people, you know, but they're already getting off the clock. You know, they're just there, you know, working their overtime or whatever. And after a certain amount of time, there's nobody there. You know, it's only the early shift. All right. So that's a dangerous situation because, you know, if what they say is true, that there's no cameras in the refrigerator, you know, you don't want to be in a situation like that alone, because, you know, if that's true, then they could cause an incident in the refrigerator, in the freezer, and then say that it was an accident. And that's the thing that I'm trying to get at. You know, they made the environment hostile, where I could no longer be comfortable there, and for my safety, that's no longer a job that I could be there no more. And that's the thing that I'm trying to say. You know, and so yeah, you know, I go in there on Wednesday. Okay, this is already Wednesday. Like I'm telling you the dates. I'm almost 100% sure that they're accurate. All right. So it's on this story. Now it's already Wednesday. All right. It's Wednesday the 16th, and I show up to work. You know, I show up to work on time, and right away, you know, I show up to work before the supervisor, Jose. You know, I was there before him, and you know, I go out and get started. You know, I was there before both of them. Okay, I go in and get my stuff started. You know, because like I said, neither of them like me, and I don't want to deal anything with them. So I'm gonna do my work just not to be around them. You know, I won't kick back just to not be around them. All right, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so then I go in and start my work. So And see, they're thinking that I'm shy. Okay, they think that I'm shy because I try to be a certain way. And like I said, this is Michael Carmona's struggle to stay Michael Carmona. This is my struggle to stay me. My struggle to not let all the dicks and assholes in the world change who I am because of the way that they treat me. Okay, or the way that they are. Not necessarily the way that they treat me, maybe, but the way that they are, that they try, and this happens to everybody. Some people don't recognize it, or at least I think it happens to everybody, but maybe I'm being singled out, like I said, right? Well, it doesn't happen to everybody all the time, but it happens to people sometimes, or maybe not. Maybe, like I said, maybe I don't understand the concept of that, but I don't think that's it, right? Then it's already Wednesday in this story. It's already Wednesday the 16th, and I'm going into work. I got there before the other two people. I started my shift. So I'm getting my equipment. I'm going over there. Checking the forklift, getting on the lift, and getting to work. And I started doing my work. And I guess as soon as the supervisor Jose shows up, he comes at me and he's like, hey, he's like they kind of like agitated. He's like, hey, agitated, and in front of the other guy, in front of Richie. Okay, any professional company, any professional. Okay, I'm speaking this to the management, and I'm speaking this to the contractors. They are employees, but now you guys are contractors. Okay. Any ordeal or any situation that is between employee and management has to be dealt with privately. And I don't mean privately like to take you privately, but it has to be dealt in a situation where it doesn't seem like they're trying to embarrass you. If that's not the situation, then the situation can be considered hostile. Okay. So they create a hostile environment that I can no longer be in. See, and that's the thing, how do I continue to work my job in a hostile environment where I can no longer be safe? Because at any moment, like I said, when I started working there, one of the lifts caught fire on while I was using it. The very next day, one of the hoses, snapped, and all that. It didn't seem like it was just coincidence. It seemed like they were trying. It seemed like it seemed like that was foul play. And like I said, if anybody does any research to this, you're gonna see this, and I'm gonna note what they were not counting on. The forklift that I'm talking about. Like I said, that incident about it catching fire happened like maybe like a month in from the time that I started working there. So that would have happened around like maybe like October, maybe November. All right. See, they didn't fix that forklift all the way up to like maybe the beginning of January. See, and the reason why they didn't fix it is because on paperwork, if you look at it on paperwork, it's gonna make it seem like the incident didn't happen till January, because that's what they were doing. So in case something like this would have happened, the story wouldn't match up, But if you check the camera, and the paperwork, you'll see that the paperwork and the camera do not match. And if it does match, then I'm telling you, if it matches, I'm saying that the incident happened around October or November. See, if the camera shows that the incident happened in January, or the paperwork says that the incident happened in January, and sometimes that matches, and somehow that matches, and that's not accurate. That's false data, and that's what I'm trying to hint at. And so yeah, that's what happened. Part of that, So then the next day I show up, and the Jose supervisor tries to come at me like, kind of like, oh hey, you just can't be taking off, and I'm like, no, you're wrong, because he put me on the spot. I stepped up to him and I told him you're wrong, So we got into an altercation right there in front of the other guy. So then I was talking with him because at the same time, he didn't realize that I was trying to make him look bad in front of the other guy because the way that the guy was talking to me, he was trying to make me look bad in front of him. And what happened is that, you know, he started telling me this bullshit that, you know, that kind of like that I think I could do whatever I want, and, you know, this and that. And I told him that I'm not, you know, I'm playing by the rules. And so yeah, so finally he told me that, like, yeah, you know, he told me that he was gonna talk to, you know, to the other guy, Jim, and they were gonna have a talk with me later on. And I told him, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, I already talked to him too, but I already knew that he was not on my side, you know, because, you know, why would they? So I had already told him, you know, I tried talking to Jim. No, I tried talking to Jim. I tried talking to Jim on Tuesday because me and Jose had already had an incident for the same reason, because, you know, they're trying to they're trying to provoke the situation. Okay, so there was times where, you know, they didn't want to let me take my lunch because I didn't eat. So because I didn't eat, they were trying to make me feel like I didn't deserve to take a break. And I started having an issue with that because no matter what, you know, every 2 hours you need to take a break. And I understand that sometimes, you know, sometimes because of the work, if it's demanding, you might need to stay over. But anybody, you don't have to be a supervisor. You don't have to be a supervisor. You don't need to be a manager to know when the work can wait and when it can't wait. You know, because sometimes it's common sense. There's common knowledge to that. If it's not common knowledge, then you're working there enough time. You know, you start to learn the time. You know, you start to learn the time of what goes out when, and when it could, you know, be postponed and when it cannot. So then they started like the Jose guy. He started like like, you know, stupid shit with me over like nonsense. He started telling me that, oh, and he was looking for me, and that, where was I? And I'm not thinking like, fuck, dude, he's like, you're not my wife, you're not anything to me, why you over there like it's just funny, you know. And so yeah, like I'm over there like like pretty much telling him to, like, you know, to back off, what the fuck, you know. And so he got mad, you know, because I said it in front of the other guy, and I told him, you know, I'm like, you're trying to put me on the spot, you know, and it's give and take. And he didn't like that. So then that day, you know, that's it, you know, he had enough, and he had enough of that. And so yeah, he went and he talked to the other guy, and then yeah, you know, I was about to finish my shift, like it was already like 1, and the guy tells me, it's like, oh, hey, you know, we gotta go upstairs because we're gonna talk and have a conference because, you know, whatever bullshit they were trying to make. So then I already knew it. See, no matter what the situation was gonna happen. So then the situation happened where I told Jim, I'm like, you guys are trying to make it seem like something that it's not, and you guys think that I'm gonna put up with it. And I told him straight out, but I'm not, right? But I'm not. And, you know, stuff like that. So then, you know, he got bothered, the Jim, you know, the asshole or dick. I don't know what he considers himself, what he prefers to be. But he told me, and all right. He's like, then he's like, he told me, so you're suspended. He's like, you're suspended without pay. You know, you're suspended without pay for the remainder of the day, and don't come in tomorrow because you're suspended. And he's like, punch out. He's like, so yeah, so I punched out. It was like 1:40. You know, like I was almost gonna complete the shift. You know, it was like 1:40, and, you know, they suspended me. You know, they suspended me for that day. You know, and the rest of the day. So on Thursday, I'm pretty sure that day I didn't show up. And the only reason why I'm saying it's pretty sure, just in case I have the dates off. If I have the dates off by a little bit, then I'm not. But I'm pretty sure I don't, okay? So on Thursday, so yeah, I think See, the thing just happened between the 16 and the 17, all right? So, in the grand scale of all this, if you do the research, don't take it as it's misinformation. Take it as it's a lot of information. But deduction. You can find the answer by deduction. And that's what I'm trying to hint at, right? So between those days, that's what happened. So then, they suspended me for one day. I think I may be off by that day. I think that day is the day that's making this, like, right? So I'm pretty sure they suspended me on Wednesday, right? So on Wednesday, they suspended me, and Tuesday I didn't work. Okay, Tuesday I didn't work because Thursday I didn't work because they told me not to go in. So I was like, okay, whatever. And they were trying to get me to sign a write-up. And I'm like, I'm not gonna sign. See, I told them at that point, I'm not gonna sign anything for you no more. Anything. I'm a receiver, and I can't receive if I can't sign. See, and that's the issue, because I lost trust in the employer. I lost trust in the employer because they're over there trying to make me sign a write-up that I didn't deserve, or I didn't earn. And I don't mean it like earn like it's a reward. I mean, they're over there trying to give me a write-up for not putting up with their bullshit, and I don't mean to be vulgar, but for putting up with their BS, And I told them, no, I'm not gonna sign it. I'm not gonna sign that, and I'm not gonna sign the suspension, right? And then he told me, like I told him, and I'm giving you, anybody that's working, pay attention to this next part. All right, pay attention to this next part, because it can make a difference. It can make a big difference in the outcome of the situation later on. Whenever you get a write-up is like a threat to your career at work, right? Whenever you get a write-up and they tell you, oh, you got a write-up. Whoever you are, male or female, you got a write-up. Sign it. Always ask. Always ask. I'm not gonna tell you why, but if you're smart, you'll look into why I'm saying this. But if you work in a company and you ever come into a situation where they try to write you up unjustified or unjust, or in a situation where you don't think that's valid, ask. Okay? If you think it's valid and you fucked up or whatever, then whatever. But if the situation is different, and even it's all, if you understand why I'm saying this, then you might understand what the purpose of it is. So always ask. Okay? You gotta ask it. You ask it like this: if I don't sign this write-up, what are the repercussions or what are the consequences of that? Right? So pay attention to that part. When they're really trying to make you sign a write-up, unjustified, ask, what happens if I don't sign this write-up? And let them answer you. Let them answer you. And if they tell you that you're not signing that write-up, it's gonna lead in more disciplinary action. They're breaking the law. That's all I'm telling you. If their answer is that if you don't sign that write-up, you're gonna get another write-up, or that you're gonna get suspended, they're breaking the law. Right? And anybody that knows what I'm talking about, you guys know that I know, and that it's true. Right? Because by you asking, and then telling you that, I'm not gonna specify the details, but like I said, I'm almost giving you the answer straight out. So please, anybody that's looking into this, understand what I'm trying to explain to you, right? So then they suspended me. I didn't go into work. I didn't say anything. So I'm pretty sure I have the dates right. So then I show up to work on Friday, and I go in, and I'm all thinking like, oh, I'm like, this is not gonna end well no more, because once hostility starts between an employee and employer, it's not gonna end well. And that's just what I'm telling you, because the employee is gonna try to use every single employee against you in the Christ concept, Jesus Christ theory concept. You're the one that is uniting all the people. Their hatred for you is uniting the people against you, and that's what happens. That's the Jesus Christ concept, and that's what they were doing. As it is, they would do it to me already. So I'm like, oh, if I stay here, then it's not gonna end well. And so for my own safety, I left. I punched in, and I left. I left because there's nothing to salvage there no more. So I went. I left, and I left. I hadn't been getting high the entire time that I was working there. I hadn't been getting high because I was trying to do a good job. And so that day I left, and I was like, cool. Pretty much, I'm gonna be unemployed now, so I'm gonna get high. And that's what I did. I went, and I went to go buy some weed. I went to go buy some good weed, and like, this is not a joke, but I haven't been working since January the 17th, right? I haven't been working since January the 17th. So calculate that. Like, literally, get a notebook or get a calculator out and calculate that. Since January 17th, I haven't been working a job, right? I haven't been working a job. I've been kicking back in my place because I was paying for it. And I was kicking back, and I was just getting high. I was just getting high. And like I said in the earlier recordings, till yesterday, I finished the weed that I had. Like, it's not the weed that I had from that one day. It's just, I'm saying that I've been like, ever since that day, I've just been kicking back. I've been kicking back, trying to make the best out of it, because I already know the situation. The situation that I'm in. So I already knew that the situation was gonna end like this, no matter what, because like I said in the earlier conversation, starting in March, which is now, if I would have kept working there, by the end of March, I would have had my rent for the whole year. See, for the whole year. And I think that's what they were trying to avoid. I think they figured that out. So then, yeah, so that day, right away, that's the first thing I went to go do. I went to Target, and I went to go buy some headphones, because like, I take the bus. That's what I do. I take the bus, and I hear music while I'm on the bus. Just kicking back. So yeah, I went to go buy some weed that day. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like, up until yesterday, almost every single day, I was high, right? Like, almost every single day, I was high, And until yesterday, my weed finished. Yesterday, I finished the last batch that I bought. I bought 2 8s, and that's the one that I was smoking. The gelato. I smoked 2 8s. Like, that's it, and that was the last batch that I had about that, and I was like, so yeah, that's what happened on that day. Then like, they tried calling me on the day that they suspended me. They tried calling me, but I already know what they were gonna do. They were gonna keep playing the game like that. that day if I wouldn't answer, they were gonna tell me that on Friday to go in on third shift. And third shift right there is like pointless because sometimes they don't have the hours. So anybody that knows the situation that I'm going through, they know that this is what they do. Them suspending you is to scare you, right? So they suspend you, and if the situation continues, even though it's nothing, it's just them making up the situation. If the situation continues that you don't respond to them the way they want, they'll suspend you again, because in the process of that, they're docking your pay, and they'll suspend you again, and they'll suspend you again. So then eventually your personal life is going to clash. So either you make a choice, either you give in or you quit. But no matter what, if you give in, you lose, because no matter what, they're going to push you out. And that's the thing about that. That's the thing that I'm trying to point out too. Like all the newbies and all that, like sometimes there's games that are meant to fail. And, and that's the way it is, because that's the way they make it. That's not the way it is because that's the way it has to be. That's the way they make it. There's a difference between something that has to be a certain way and something that they make it so that it has to be like that. That's a whole different situation. So yeah, the last day that I worked in that company, True Fresh HPP, the last day that I worked in that company officially was on the 16th, right? I'm pretty sure the date is pretty accurate, right? And then for my last paycheck, they didn't want to give it to me. Like they didn't want to pay me my last paycheck. They wanted me to go pick it up. I had direct deposit, and they wanted me to go pick it up. They wanted me to go pick a physical check, so that they could make it seem like I was over there going back asking for my job. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go pick it up. And I called them up and I told them, hey, mail me my check because I'm not gonna pick it up. And I didn't get an answer, but I left them a message. I left Jim, that asshole Jim, and the Mr. Ted. I left them a message letting them know, like, hey, my paycheck, it didn't get there, and mail it to me because I'm not gonna go pick it up. And they didn't respond back to me, but eventually I got my paycheck, and I got the letter. I got a letter stating that I abandoned the work, but I didn't, because it's not abandonment when you can't work in the place because of hostility and for your own safety. But that's what they put, and I could prove that they lied, because in the paperwork they put it that I didn't show up to work on the 17th and the 18th, because since I didn't sign the suspension. See, since I didn't sign the suspension, all you gotta do is throw it away and say that it didn't occur. But it did occur because I could prove it that in the cameras it shows when I go up. It shows when I go up into the office. See if coincidentally all this information is not there. Any government people that do data collection, they know that coincidences like that are not just coincidences like whatever. And you guys will look into that, because you guys know that that's the reason why they have the cameras. See, the cameras can work for you and the cameras can work against you. If you don't know how to use them, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So yeah, so for any of that time, if there's camera data missing, or not anything like that, then I'm letting you guys know that that's it. And that's how I could show you, I could explain to you the situation of what's going on in that. So yeah, that was so that I wouldn't get my unemployment. So because of that I can't get my unemployment. I had to take it to unemployment court, but I already tried that before. Whole Foods did that same thing to me. Whole Foods didn't want to give me my unemployment, and the reason why I left Whole Foods too, because I left Whole Foods. I didn't go back to them because they were being stupid with me. And like I said, once they start being stupid, it's different. All right. They started being stupid with me because, all right, at Whole Foods, like I said, at Whole Foods. If you work at Whole Foods, you're doing work, right? So I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna make another recording, but I'm just gonna take a quick break and I'll come back right now. The time is 9:05 a.m. All right, and the next conversation is gonna be about Whole Foods and why I wasn't working there no more, right? On top of everything else that is, everything else that is, if it sounds like I'm changing my story to certain stuff, I'm not changing my story. It's just that some of these events happen in a similar time, and they all collectively add up to the situation. So that's why I say it like that. So I'm just saying. So anybody that's hearing, and anybody that's actually following through these conversations, if they say, oh, or you say that you didn't work there no more because of your wife and this and that, but like I said in the conversations, you pay attention. I said, during that time, because of all that, I had made up my mind, and then coincidentally, situations led that I was no longer working there. And that's the conversation. If you pass through that conversation, you're going to understand what I mean. That I stated that because of situations that I will talk about later, I found myself no longer working there. And I'll come back right now, all right? Right now the time is 9:06 a.m. It's still Thursday, March the 28th. And I'm taking a quick break. I'll come back right now. Or a quick intermission.